2, 1. All right, thank you for joining us on all our digital platforms. I'm 5 News Chief Meteorologist Matt Standridge. I'm with meteorologist Bruce Thomas as well. We're both tracking these storms coming in. I want to give you first a quick live shot right now coming in from Bentonville, just south of Walmart headquarters from the Jack Links building there. You're watching very heavy rain coming just past the Walmart headquarters there down Walton. You can see it's soaked. In fact, just about 2 minutes ago, we were getting some hail there in Bentonville, and traffic was slowing down pretty well. I want to show you outside live in the Springdale area as well. As we're looking towards the north at some of these cells coming in, you can see a little bit of that shelf cloud too when you're looking north. This is from the Sunset Avenue exit, and you're looking north towards Benton County. We've got a lot of storms coming in for this afternoon. It's going to be a busy one. This is a wide view of the radar. Expansive. Storms coming all the way in from Kansas, Missouri, and they keep targeting northwest Arkansas and eventually into the River Valley. Now, some of us in eastern Johnson County are still getting some of that heavy rain. But if we zoom in close, the strongest storms are forming this just glob and line coming into Benton County and Carroll County, moving south and east about 15 miles per hour. The skies are getting pretty dark. There's also another cell that has popped up on the east side of Fayetteville. For you guys in Goshen, headed towards Hinesville, they're right along 412 and towards Huntsville. Another cell for us. But, man, there's a lot of heavy rain, gusty winds, and hail coming in from the north. We have that severe thunderstorm warning for Benton County, Carroll County, northern Madison County, and extreme northern portions of Washington County. Most of us are going to get a storm, and probably most of us are going to get multiple storms throughout this afternoon. Meteorologist Bruce Thomas, he's with me in the studio as well. Bruce, let's take a look at this storm, and we'll also be tracking the hail.
Yes, we are watching this closely, Matt, and it's great to have you here working with me this afternoon. I'm just helping fill in here for the summer, and we're watching the thunderstorm activity coming in again. Started up at Bella Vista, now moving through Bentonville, heading right into Rogers, and this will continue to track to the southeast at about 15 miles an hour. So it's kind of slowed down a little bit, and you can see there's a new warning that just came out now, and that's going to include this new storm that you just pointed out, and it's moving again towards the southeast. So most concerning is the strong winds, up to about 75-mile-per-hour winds in our area with this storm, and again anywhere from quarter to maybe tennis ball size hail in some isolated occurrences. So you can see the hail cores that we're highlighting now, and there's a pretty good one now showing up and moving to the southeast, and again some more up to the northeast. Now the latest warning now out there by Goshen is for that hail now growing again within these storms. Mother Nature's ice machines are fully activated this afternoon, and we've got severe updrafts in these storms. And when you get larger than golf ball size hail, those updrafts sometimes rotate, and you might get an isolated tornado later this afternoon. So we're here watching this closely. Right now, we're under a severe thunderstorm watch until 6 p.m., but these isolated severe storms have the ability at times to produce an isolated tornado. And here's the new severe thunderstorm watch area extending from Oklahoma and Kansas all the way down past Little Rock. So if you're driving, say, I-40 to Little Rock this afternoon or I-49 south, you're going to get into quite a bit of weather because it is moving towards the southeast. This is all moving towards Little Rock. And again, the severe thunderstorm watch now has been extended till 6 p.m. for our area, as this large area of storms actually goes all the way back up into Kansas. But right now, look at that. Ooh, let's go back to that. Look at that shot. All right, yeah, this is, again, a little bit, looks like maybe a little more hail coming in, some high winds. Look at the trees here. Yeah. And this is at the Jack Links beef jerky building that's just adjacent to the Walmart headquarters. And again, this is Walton. And we're starting to pick up some winds. You can see the camera actually gyrating now from the high winds, and people with their lights on driving. We had some hail falling here just a few minutes ago. We're going to show you another view from Fayetteville. We have that camera down in Fayetteville looking north. And again, they're playing baseball at the university this afternoon. We have Vanderbilt in town, Vandy, and they had to postpone last night because of lightning. They were going to start back at 11 today and finish that game from last night and then have a double header, which it looks like maybe that second game may get washed out or delayed here with this severe thunderstorm watch in the region. Okay, we're looking up towards the promenade here. Yep. And looking up to the north. You can see the cross churches here. Yep. And quite a bit of...
There's at Mercy Hospital, too.
Yeah, this is Mercy right here. Mercy Hospital, and we're looking up north, and this would be the Embassy Suites Hotel right there. So it's coming into Rogers now, so you've got time to put your car maybe up if you have some cover, because you may get some damaging hail, and you can see the darkness now in the sky. Yeah, look at that from Springdale, looking north. This is from, I believe, is this the Holiday Inn? Yeah,
that
Holiday Inn here.
Right at
from
sunset.
Springdale, and here's Interstate 49 moving up towards the north. And so in Springdale, you can see those clouds coming, but in Rogers, they're almost right on top of you. And yeah, it's going to be a stormy afternoon for sure. And again, the high winds first. Oh, there's a good picture showing this actual shelf cloud probably on the front end of it that's moving and moving towards the southeast at about 15 to 20 miles an hour.
I'm going to move this east for you for that one cell that we have now.
Yeah, let's see what we got there.
Of course, there's the pole in the way a little bit, but
well, you know, you got to have something to mount them on.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, it's interesting that the way that they coil, we can spin that around 360, and so it just coils the actual cables up. But yeah, this is that storm off to the east, and we're getting hail and high winds. Oh, there's a great shot now. Coming back, look at the trees there. Again, this is Walton Boulevard, right? Just south of the Walmart headquarters. And looks like winds are getting up there maybe 40, 50 miles an hour. And every once in a while I see a little bit of hail flying by there. Those little white balls going by, and the traffic almost to a standstill there on Walton. Now with this heavy wind and rain and hail coming through, you can see what do you think, Matt? About 40 miles an hour, 40 or 50 right there?
Yeah, I'm trying to estimate those right now, just off camera, and then I'm going to bring up the radar here for a moment too. But right now, when you're just looking at some of these wind speeds, just estimated by the radar, we've got about 45 to 55 mile per hour winds coming right out of the promenade right now, right there by the Mercy Health. These are headed south right along I-49.
You want to zoom us down tight right into, let's look at Benton County and Washington counties and just see what we've got here. Yeah, that's, again, we got this secondary storm that's moving, again, towards Huntsville, and that's moving away from the main population center. But this storm is moving right just up to the north. Yeah, there's Pinnacle, and everything moving towards the southeast. Again, Pinnacle Country Club and Grimes Elementary. You're right there near Mercy Hospital. And again, everything's progressing now to the southeast, and really see the lightning picking up in here, and that's indications that there's more ice in the storm. When you get a lot of friction between ice particles, it creates static electricity and eventually lightning. And when you see the lightning increasing like that, it means the storm is glaciating. That's a word we use in weather to mean there's a lot of ice in there moving around. And the stronger the updraft, the bigger those pieces of hail will get, and eventually go from possibly a dime or a quarter size, maybe up to a golf ball or even tennis ball size hail as this is progressing. And Beaver Lake, there's Montanay, and there's War Eagle here, and we're watching the hail. This is Prairie Creek Marina, and you can see coming into Rogers now, it looks like a little hail core right there on Interstate 49. There we go. Let's zoom that in. Yeah, not too tight there.
It's right there in US 71 business. So it goes from Walnut to Walton right there at the construction zone. Looks like hail picking up, and there's a little bit of a hail core just north at the 8th Street Market. But Bruce, yeah, this is headed towards those western fringes of Beaver Lake, right where you talked about in Prairie Creek, and then the southern fringes, Montanay and Clear Point. Hickory Creek will get some of that too. But if we expand the view, we've got other hail cores as well. See that one blowing up there in northern Madison County.
Right, and then Goshen's right on top of Goshen at this time. Look at that. And can you put some numbers on that one for us, Matt?
Yeah, let's do that. Let me pause the radar for a second.
Yeah, because the radar can estimate the size of the hail. I bet that's about 1 over 1, maybe 1.5 inches now over Goshen. Yeah, 1 inch. 1 inch hail. It's getting a little bigger. So it's increasing over Goshen, and that's the reason why they're under a severe thunderstorm warning there. The National Weather Service issued that warning, and continuing to think that these hail sizes will increase. Now, once you get up to about a golf ball size hail, that's when it really starts doing damage to roofs and cars. Right now at 1 inch, it's pretty and can do some damage to vegetation. But as it grows, as this hail grows now over 1 inch, that's what they classify as a severe thunderstorm. Winds in excess of 50 knots or 58 miles an hour, and hail 1 inch diameter or larger. That's why the Weather Service has issued the severe thunderstorm warning now for Benton and Washington counties until 1:30. And you can see the whole mass now. We're just showing you hail cores now, and these storms have, look at that storm down there. It's got quite a bit of hail in it now moving towards Russellville. Yeah, that's another another pretty major storm out there, but that's in open country up there to the north and north of I-40 and north of the River Valley. Those are, again, all moving southeastward at about 25 miles an hour. So let's go back to reflectivity real quick, Matt, and let's show them what we're seeing right here, and let's talk about what we can expect right here in northwest Arkansas. And eventually, Fort Smith, this is coming your way. You're right on the edge of that advisory now, the watch area until 6 o'clock. So, Matt, what do you see?
Well, what I'm going to really quick do, just help me look at some of this hail, is our freezing level is about 14,000 feet. So I'm going to pause a couple things. I know this is going to get messy here for a second. Anywhere we see that reflectivity, the red, go above about 18,000 feet, you've got hail. And look, you can see there, right there on the side, 20,000 feet where that second white line is. So we're watching that hail come in. Let me see. We've got it. I mean, look how we're going now towards hail. Hailstones are falling about up to 30,000 feet and then falling. So what they're doing is they're falling at a pretty good clip. I just brought this up just to kind of see how high we're going above the freezing level. And it looks like the updraft is starting to strengthen too. So, and the lightning's going up as well.
That's a tremendous amount of technology there to share with people. But again, if you're in Rogers and Bentonville, you know this is right on top of you. And moving, again, southeastward only at about 15 miles an hour and extending. Now that hail core up over 30,000 feet, as Matt just showed you. And again, we're watching the Weather Service posting warnings again for our region this afternoon, and that's going to continue. I'm going to pull up the latest information and read you that warning. Again, the severe thunderstorm watch for our area is in effect for another 5 hours till 6 o'clock this evening, and we continue to see the warnings flowing in from the National Weather Service for our region. Again, Carroll and Madison, just another couple of minutes on that warning. Boone and Marion County and Newton County, 17 more minutes. There's a Carroll and Madison warning for another 17 minutes. But the main warning we're watching right now is the Benton, Madison, and Washington County warnings, and this is the latest from the Weather Service, what they're reporting this afternoon until 1:30 for our area. Severe thunderstorms were located along a line from Hiawassee to near Rogers to 5 miles southeast of Garfield, moving southeast only at 15 miles an hour. Does that look like, is that a little white on there? Maybe?
It could be some of the hail.
On that ground, that's open ground there, so it wouldn't melt as fast as it will on a parking lot.
So this is a little bit farther south. So this is just south of the promenade, but you can see that kind of shelf cloud coming in. You're in a wash machine right now, but heavy rain there in southern Benton County. You're looking north along I-49. And then, Bruce, I'm going to bring up our Springdale camera. This is a little bit farther south. Get a wider view of this storm coming in, but you're there looking in Sunset, and this is coming right at us. So why don't we, is it still estimated about 15, Bruce, 15 miles per hour?
I was checking on the latest. So they're just showing this progressing to the southeast at about 15 miles per hour. Again, right over Interstate 49 between Bentonville and Rogers, and moving again slowly towards the southeast. And the secondary severe storm that's now well east of Fayetteville and then moving towards Huntsville at this time. And those are the main cores. But look what just developed over here by Lincoln. Look at that. Another secondary storm now formed. And that may be something we'll be watching for Fayetteville. Seems like every time something goes up, eventually it does become severe. Let's pull it back out. Let's pull it back up and let's look at that new storm, because again, they're trying to play baseball this afternoon at the stadium. I don't know exactly where they are in that. They probably finished that what was left of the game from last night. But again, the new storm just formed right there, just to the west of Prairie Grove, and you can see a core forming really quickly on that. So it's going to go severe and eventually move over here and probably just south towards Greenland and West Fork and move right into that beautiful country south of Fayetteville. And we'll be watching that again. Another storm. You can see if some of the towns, Farmington and Fayetteville, maybe about 111. Woolsey and then Elkins as this storm progresses off towards the east. So we've got more development now showing up right along the state line, and that is moving out of the green country right towards Fayetteville and places south. So severe thunderstorms, there's a new warning just came out.
Yeah.
That's the new one.
So this one, they still have it at southeast at 15 miles per hour. This one now goes until 1:45, including northwestern Madison County, northeastern Washington County. This is just outside of Fayetteville. As soon as you get to Goshen is where this picks up. Then towards Mayfield, Tuttle, Huntsville, Forum, Alabama, Sonora, Hinesville, and the Wesley area.
Yeah, That's
Yeah.
that one just, again, we've been watching, and it looks like the winds are calming down a little bit in Bentonville at this time, but it's hard to say when that will all be over, because to the north there's just series after series after series of showers and storms all the way back into Kansas that are moving out of Kansas and Missouri. And there's a nice rain-free base right there looking off.
Real quick, I was going to show you Arvest Ballpark. They were just actually messaging us, asking about their game. They first pitch is at 2:05.
Okay.
And Arvest Ballpark's right here.
Oh, okay.
And you can see, and I'm going to zoom back out and point back towards the north, and you can see exactly what's coming towards them.
Yeah, they're not going to get that ball game in at least till maybe later tonight. There'll be a big rain delay. Look at that rain-free base coming in, and then the storms off to the side of it. And yeah, it's going to be an impressive afternoon of severe weather through our area. You know, some wind, hail. It's May, and it's the time of year when we get this, and definitely heading in. There's no doubt that there'll be more rain and storms coming in, and just because of the lightning in the area, playing baseball might be a little dangerous here at 2 o'clock. So severe weather now just to the east of Fayetteville, but we're watching that new storm that's just starting to form right off to the west of Fayetteville at this time.
Just trying to count the lightning strikes. We'll see if that continues to go up.
200 and something strikes
Yeah.
in that boxed area. So there is some frequent lightning out there. And the hail, of course, there's that, look at that right there. It moved across Interstate 49 right there. Let's see where that is. It's on New Hope Road. So, yeah, from New Hope Road extends over into Rogers. Yeah, there's quite a bit of hail on that this afternoon. It's went between Turtle Creek, New Hope Road, and then on down towards the Promenade Boulevard. They're getting hail right now. It's probably maybe up to a quarter-size hail starting to form. Can you stop that and
let me pause it.
on it?
So this is, I mean, we're right in the heart of Rogers. Anywhere from the public library south to New Hope Road, and there into downtown Rogers as well. And then as you head east before you get right towards the Prairie Creek Marina there, once you get outside of downtown. But let me go ahead and take them off real quick, and let's estimate the size. So right over about New Hope Road, we're getting estimates just about an inch to just over an inch or so. Back towards Walnut, right about the same, right about a quarter-sized hail coming down for us. And this pocket, Bruce, I'm going to go ahead and put a 15-mile-per-hour track on this.
Toward the southeast, towards the lake?
Exactly.
Okay.
So some of this is probably going to clip us on the south end of the lake, and we'll continue south into the Lowell area and Bethel Heights. So you can see Lexington 108 here in about 5 minutes, Rogers in 10 minutes, and we're already in Rogers, but the south side of Rogers, once you head just on the border of Springdale, and Frisco 118 and Bethel Heights 125. But these are moving south and east. We could get clipped in Taneytown and Springdale, but it looks like this core may continue to drop south and east. They're crossing right over the southern ends of Beaver Lake. That's just south of Clear Point. You're there towards Hickory Creek, Horseshoe Bend State Park, Pleasure Heights, Creech, Montanay, Frisco. You guys are included, of course, in the severe thunderstorm warning and in the path of this hail as well.
Yeah, that's quite impressive, and you don't want to be outside. And this quarter-size hail, it hurts if it hits you, and it can do a lot of damage to vegetation. Can actually, thin-skinned cars could get a little denting from that, but as it gets bigger from 1 inch to 1.5 inches, that's when you start to see damage to cars and roofs. And if it's wind-driven, it can damage siding and windows and screens on your home. So this is serious. We're starting to see these pockets of hail really show up in these thunderstorms, doing some damage. That hail's actually up now to 1.3, so it's getting closer to ping pong ball size hail. Again, golf ball 1.75, ping pong balls are about 1.5, and quarters are generally 1 inch in diameter. So that's what we're watching here on these storms as they're moving again towards the southeast. These are a few more towns, Wesley and Drakes Creek and Roxton and Japton. You're seeing those storms that are progressing from Goshen now, moving towards the southeast at, again, only about 15 to 20 miles an hour. So you've got time, if you're in those areas, to maybe do a little preparation. If you're concerned about hail damage, you got some plants out, you can move under cover, things like that, because that will strip the leaves off fresh vegetation and trees. That hail can be hard. Now there's a pretty good core showing up right there. I wonder how big that one's showing up. That's the newest one. That's south of Ponca.
Yeah.
I bet that one's
We got hit there
1.5
yesterday.
or even maybe golf ball size there. Yeah, 2-inch diameter hail.
Yep.
So that's golf ball size, heading towards hen egg size at that 2-inch diameter. So all these storms have that potential. The Weather Service put out a bulletin with the actual watch that our hail size could get up to about 2.5-inch diameter, which would be tennis ball size hail in isolated events. And you know, we'll watch this with those stronger updrafts, maybe an isolated spin up even of a tornado, but we're under a severe thunderstorm watch, not a tornado watch. We're under expected high winds and more hail than tornadoes with these southeast moving storms this afternoon. But we've still got these storms coming north of Independence, then on up towards, so it looks like maybe even up the Kansas Turnpike there by Emporia, coming out of the Flint Hills. You can see these hail cores. And that's a great way to track these storms, actually looking at the hail they're producing gives us a nice trajectory on the way that the strongest part of the storms are moving towards the southeast. And here's, you know, again, Bentonville, Fayetteville, the heaviest activity now just to the east of Interstate 49, moving right into Rogers, and then this storm, okay, crossing out. Now here's a...
I'm going to bring you a couple cameras, Bruce.
Yeah.
See outside. So this is, once again, just south of Mercy Hospital, south there of the Topgolf. This is right as you're trying to get off for the Pinnacle Hills exit. But I'm going to show you a couple other iCams as well. This is live look in Springdale. You're looking right from sunset, and you're looking towards the north and west. You can see more of that shelf cloud. You got some, we call them SLCs, scary-looking clouds there, Bruce,
Yeah.
looking coming in from the north. I'm going to pan a little bit, but you can see the heavy rain off in the distance as well, pouring right now with that hail. Coming in from the north. I'm going to keep kind of going around
Yeah.
a whole cluster of storms.
Yeah, it's a impressive afternoon of storms for this Sunday. And again, it's started out with a beautiful morning, kind of hot and humid, but looks like we're going to have a pretty stormy afternoon across most of all the region. Eventually will be overshadowed by this rain event. The winds have lightened up a little bit there on Walton. And again, they've had some heavy rain, some small hail that came through in downtown Bentonville. But I think it's strengthening up a little bit as it's getting into Rogers and again moving southeastward. Watching that new little storm that just formed right out here. It's going to end up being a little south of Fayetteville. It looks like we'll move across Interstate 49 there eventually. But a lot of lightning.
We've
Look at
doubled
that.
our strikes.
We're up to 560 strikes.
Yeah, totally doubled that in what, about 5 minutes?
Yeah, that's impressive.
So these updrafts are strengthening as they push south into this warm, humid air that we have for us. So let me take this off. Bruce, let's take a closer look at that cell that you were talking about coming in towards the Fayetteville area.
Yeah.
Right over 62, Highway 62, Prairie Grove and Weddington. This is coming into Farmington, but we'll watch this one. It may grow. And as you do that, go ahead and analyze this one. Bruce, I'm going to pull up some extra cameras here in a minute.
Okay, well, we're watching this again over Prairie Grove and just southwest of Farmington on Highway 62. This was not there a minute ago, and you see when the sweep goes by on the radar, it keeps expanding. So this one's going to become severe. They pretty much all are this afternoon for hail and high winds. It'll be moving down towards West Fork and Woolsey, and eventually, again, it's going to be crossing Interstate 49, well south of Fayetteville, getting into the beautiful area and the bridges, and get down into the more high-end terrain there. So we're going to be watching that, again, this storm moving towards the southeast. A severe thunderstorm warning has now been issued for, which storm is that for? Till 2:15.
Yes, till 2:15. This one's coming in, of course, northern Madison County. It's getting a mess now. You know, we got warnings all over the
They're
place.
all over the place, yeah. So, again, another warning coming out from the Weather Service. And do you have the actual verbiage on that one?
Yes. So this one lasts, of course, till 2:15. This is for Madison County, most of Madison County, east central Washington County, mainly towards the Durham and just east of Sonora for us. But this is going to be including, of course, Huntsville, St. Paul, Forum, Boston, Pettigrew, Witter, Georgetown, Combs, Elkins, Wesley, Kingston, Aurora, Japton, Marble, and Dutton and Red Star area. This is still moving at 15 miles per hour, latest update. But we're watching a hail core just north of Forum right now, moving southeast at 15 miles per hour. Mainly 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with this one, and now up to $half-sized hail. And with that hail, Bruce, I'm going to bring up our hail tracker,
okay,
and then we'll get you some cameras.
All right, let's zoom down on that specific core. Yeah, you can see how the radar picks it up and paints it very well. And you're seeing how we actually do this behind. Look at that, 1.8. So that's a golf ball size piece of hail already. That's golf ball size hail inside that core of this storm now that's south of Highway 412 and moving again towards Japton and moving Aurora, eventually to Venus and Reynolds. Again, this is moving south, but very slowly, only about 15 miles an hour. But again, these cores inside these storms are increasing, which means the lightning's increasing, the height of the storm is increasing, the amount of heavy rain is increasing, and also the updraft is strengthening, which actually pulls the ice back up into the top of the cloud and allows it to keep growing in a cycle. And ice goes around in a cloud in a loop, and it just gets another coating of water, supercooled water on it, and it makes another layer. If you take a hailstone, you cut it in half with a saw, you'll notice it has growth rings inside, and that's another trip up and around inside the storm. So it's very interesting to actually go pick up some of this hail maybe after the storm blows by and maybe cut it in half with a hacksaw and just look at it and see those growth rings around it. Beautiful rings that show almost like a tree ring, and it's just a life cycle of that hailstone going up and around inside the cloud, getting another coating of liquid supercooled water freezing on it. So we're seeing those really picking up this afternoon. And luckily, that is not over Interstate 49 because there's a lot of traffic still traveling this Sunday afternoon north and south on 49 and heading east and west on Interstate 40 this afternoon to our south, eventually getting there. Now, here again is the lake, and here's War Eagle. Let's zoom in right in this area and see how close that hail core is going to come. There's Montanay, and so just not too far out there. There's a great chicken restaurant out there I visited recently, and winds, the storm moving generally in that direction. And again, the lake down here, and again, there's Horseshoe Bend Marina's right in that area.
So this is coming right towards the Bethel Heights and Lowell area, right on there on U.S. Business 71, Old Wire Road there on the east side of Springdale and Lowell. That's where we're getting some of this hail. Debbie, let's go ahead and bring up camera 3. I'm going to walk through some of these iCams really quick. I want to show you what it looks like outside right now. What you're looking at is from Sunset Avenue, and you're looking towards the north. We've got these storms that are just knocking on our doorstep in Springdale. Let me go ahead and turn this around because we honestly have storms surrounding us. If you look back towards the south and west, Bruce was talking about that storm in western Washington County coming into Farmington and Prairie Grove. That one continues to strengthen over time. You can see it off in the distance. Look how dark, though, it is getting. It's kind of hard with the focus on the camera. Here's a live look at Arvest Ballpark where, of course, they're trying to get a game in, but we've got storms coming in from the north as we speak. The camera's wobbling a little bit because the wind is picking up. I'm going to move the camera back towards the north. Look at all the storm clouds. It's getting really dark for us in northern Washington County and Benton County. Now back towards on the west side of I-49, most of us are dry. You can see the bottom of the cloud, right? You got that rain-free base. You can see a little bit of that sunlight off in the distance. But then as we look northbound and then towards the east side of the interstate, look how you don't really see the bottom of the clouds as much anymore because we have a lot of heavy rain and a lot of hail. Lightning has gone up. It's doubled in the past 10 minutes or so. Look how fast the storm clouds are moving in from the north. But the storms themselves are moving about 15 miles per hour. Bruce, this is looking towards Beaver Lake, some of the ridges there over Beaver Lake. Storms coming in for them too. And I'm going to show you, you're talking about the traffic. This is live look in Bentonville, still some rain for us, but this is a live look at the Johnson Mill exit. Storm clouds coming in from the north as well. I think we just got a new severe thunderstorm warning here, and I'll show that in a second. But boy, it's getting loud for us. If you look from a wide view, look how many storms continue back off towards the north and west. So not only do we have the severe threat, but Bruce, once we get more of these storms to continue to hit the same locations, we're probably going to have more flash flooding issues. Of course, we still have that flash flood warning in eastern Johnson County. But Bruce, let's go ahead and look at that. I think that new severe thunderstorm warning towards the east.
I've got it right here. I can read it for you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
As of 1:08, the severe thunderstorm was located along a line from 3 miles north of Wellesley to near Forum, moving southeast at 15, again 60-mile-an-hour winds, half-dollar size hail. This new warning now is in effect this afternoon from the National Weather Service in Tulsa, and they're extending that again for Madison County and northwest Arkansas and also Washington counties, and then that's until 2:15. So they've extended that warning until 2:15 now. Again, the storm's intensifying. I just noticed we have a flash flood warning out in Johnson and Pope County. Said they've had about 2.5 inches of rain in this area. So that flash flood warning, you know, this becomes concerning because you got a lot of elevation, people traveling. Eventually that's going to move down towards Interstate 40. But I'm just showing that because we could get flash flood warnings here pretty quickly with this. We've had a lot of rain already this spring. We're well above normal. The lakes are high, and then this area of cluster of storms continuing to run over the same terrain. So it's a concern that we'll be watching for flash flooding coming up here probably in the next, maybe hour or two. We may get a few flash flood warnings from some of these heavier cells. And what are we looking at right here now, Matt?
I'm showing you rainfall rates. So let's take a look at some of these rainfall rates, because eventually we're going to continue to have flooding issues. The ground is soaked. We picked up, 6+ inches of water about a week ago, and so things are still pretty wet. But let's take a look at some of these rainfall rates. I mean, we're between 1 to 2 inches per hour on a lot of these storms coming in northern Madison County. And of course, we have that new severe thunderstorm warning Bruce was just talking about for southeastern Benton County, northeastern Washington County. You can see the corner of Washington County there, where we're picking up, just almost about 1.5 inches per hour of these rainfall rates.
Yeah, the heavy rain can be contaminated by ice. The actual radar indications of how heavy the rain is, even though it's heavy. When you get hail in there, we call it hail contamination to the actual amount of rain that's falling. But again, you get ground truth reports, and you're welcome to call them in or text them in or send them in on social media, how much rain you're getting out of these cores, because you got heavy rain with hail, and that can cause a lot of trouble quickly. And I believe that's the new warning that we're watching.
Right there, yep.
Okay.
Right there.
Yeah. So it's they're expanding it out a little bit. And you can see just that core. And what we're showing now is where it was and where it's going. So this is the old core. There's the new core. So it does show a little weakening on that one, which is a plus sign, and that's good as it heads out towards the lake. And we're watching these cores move again towards the southeast. So we're actually showing how we track these storms, putting a hail history on this. It's a great way to show where the hail damage has occurred, especially when the hail gets larger. From Goshen on to the southeast, you can see how that hail core is moving across open country out there, and I'm sure it's a lot of frequent lightning with that. The good news, that's moving away from Fayetteville and Johnson and Interstate 49.
That's where we got hit yesterday. Remember that storm that we had yesterday?
Yeah, it was just right up here.
We're lucky we're not getting the storm now.
Yeah, it came right over the station here. It formed there at Johnson, and it was between Taneytown and points to the south. Just south of Taneytown was a very active hailstorm last night, about 10 o'clock during the newscast. And so there's, again, going right across Montanay and moving towards the southeast, again, showing a little hail with that as it progresses across the lake here. So
with that one, I'm going to show you what it looks like outside visually. Bruce, this is a live look from our Springdale iCam right there at the Holiday Inn. So now you're looking pretty much directly east. So there's the edge. Of course, you got to ignore the pole there. But there's the edge of that storm, that hail storm that's coming in right there on the south side of Beaver Lake towards Hickory Creek and Montanay, and that's going to continue to head south and east. Bruce, we can do a quick tour here on this camera because we're surrounded.
Yeah, look at these clouds. There's a lot of upward motion in these clouds, and again, you've got this large expanse of a cloud coming at you, and this is moving south. So, and they're not moving too fast. That's the good news. You've got a little time. They're only moving at about 15, maybe 20 miles an hour to the southeast, but definitely got a dark sky coming in from the north this afternoon. It's all been moving out of Missouri and Kansas. This actual storm system hit Kansas City this morning. In the early morning, about 8 or 9 o'clock this morning, they were having severe weather in Kansas City. We've been watching this progress down Interstate 49 all morning. So we had pretty good warning that this was coming, and the Weather Service has stayed really on top of this with their watches and their warnings, now helping us convey that information to you through social media and streaming and on television. So we want to keep everybody advised, and we're glad you're with us this afternoon watching. And there's some low scary clouds there. We call these scud clouds, but always watch these because, if they all start rushing into one area and they'll form a wall cloud. So it's always fun to keep your eye on these low scary clouds if they coalesce together in an area. That's a concern for a strong updraft, but right now they're not doing that. So just a lot of beautiful rain-free base and a lot of beautiful green country right now because of all the rain we've had. It's been amazing this spring already. But, we started out kind of cool, but boy, the last week or so, it sure did warm up, and it was hot and humid this morning, and now it's given way to these storms and traffic moving very well.
This is Johnson. This is Johnson Mill looking north, so you can see more of those scud clouds because this storm's right on our doorstep.
Yeah.
Most of the rain's just east, though.
Yeah, this camera's right here at the TV station, Johnson Mills, so that's our own camera we control from right here. We've got a whole network of them. Then we use some from the Arkansas Department of Transportation to show you. But big concern again is this big cluster moving to the southeast. But I want to look upstream a little bit because look what's coming. I mean, we're not out of the woods. It's going to be over and over and over. That's that reason I talked about flash flooding a little bit, Matt, because look what's going on still to our northwest up in Kansas. Hopefully some of that will slide a little bit further to the east, but I don't know. It looks like we're going to have a very busy afternoon, and the severe thunderstorm watch goes right to the river valley there in Fort Smith. So technically Fort Smith is not under the watch yet, but it's right on your doorstep. It's right there. So this will continue to expand on down towards Little Rock this afternoon, and if you're driving to Little Rock, yeah, you might want to hold up for a while because you're going to get in some really bad weather by the time you get close to Little Rock this afternoon.
Another little pop-up you see there towards Gentry. We'll see if that kind of grows.
Yeah, this new one. It seems to want to extend all the way back to the state line.
It does.
Siloam Springs, and just off between Gentry and Siloam Springs now a new storm going up, and that's how they start, and then they end up getting to the ice freezing level and start making hail this afternoon. And look at this lightning over Huntsville in that area all the way back down to Durham and Japton, and boy, that's a cluster of storms there, big.
We'll do another count. How about that? Remember what we were at 500 something last time?
505, I think. Let's see what we got now. If you cut that box out of there, I'm going for 1,000.
Going 1,000? Oh, you're close. 700. So we continue to strengthen this one storm.
Yeah.
I mean, there's multiple clusters, but
yeah,
look at that.
Well, it went up by half, went up by 50%, so not too bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah. And how long a time frame is that, Matt?
Over 15 minutes.
Oh, that's just 15 minutes. So
Yep.
if we put it 30 minutes on it, I'd have been right.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
1,000.
I like
just
what you
saying.
think.
All right.
Boy, it's a big storm.
No,
though.
I didn't know what your time frame was on it, but that's good. Look at that. Look at that core right there. That's impressive. That's another down there in the mountains, Boston Mountains, and.
Well, we had that storm yesterday too.
Yeah.
They're getting just hit once again. Now we're
Look
over
at
2
that.
inches
Now
hail.
that last one, that's tennis ball size. That 2.5 inch diameter's tennis ball. Baseball's 2.75 inches. That's what a baseball diameter is, 2.75. So
I'll get you some estimates back towards the north and west, closer to the metros. Let's see, the storm that's, actually, let me go ahead and loop this, because some of these are the previous tracks. For just a second, I'm going to take off the track.
Okay.
So it looks like our current clusters, we've got one for western Madison County, Bruce was just pointing there, southwest of Huntsville. This is going right into the mountains towards Drakes Creek and Roxton. Japton, you're about to get probably some of this hail. Aurora too, right there on the fringes of the Boston Mountains. So this cell, let's see, let's estimate, I think that's the latest one. A little bit over an inch, a little bit over a quarter size, but about almost ping pong.
Yeah, it's trying to get to ping pong size.
And then back towards the north, we were watching that cell. It looks like that cell towards Exonay that you were
it's
just looking
falling apart now. It's weakening some.
So that one now is probably under the quarter-inch mark, but that's right over the lake, though.
Yeah, it is.
Right over Hickory Creek.
Look at that. Yeah, moving towards the marina there. There's some, I'm sure a lot of boaters out this afternoon early trying to enjoy this warm, humid weather we're having. The lake waters are actually warming up a little bit. Still in the 60s. They were in the low 60s last weekend. I think maybe into the mid 60s. Look at that dark cloud. Woo. Now, this is Springdale from the Holiday Inn.
And looking southeast.
Oh, looking southeast. Okay, well, that's a new development down there, I guess, or the stuff we're watching down there that's got the hail in it. Yeah.
Try to focus on this a little bit better.
Yeah, look at that. Trying to look like a little lowering there, but
bit.
from the rain-free base. And pull it back just a little bit if you can. Yeah, it's just nothing too concerning, except there's a lot of hail out there.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can see it's moving into that clear territory where a lot of sunshine this morning, the heat energy, and again, it's all heading southeast, but slowly, only about 15 miles an hour. And it's been an interesting start to our afternoon, starting out right at noon with severe thunderstorms coming in. Look at that, though.
Look at that heavy rain.
Oh, yeah.
You got that whole rain
See how
foot.
it slopes all back, just a big rain shield. And there's, again, those little low clouds.
So what we're looking at is
What's
the
that red?
western edge.
Zoom back out for a minute.
Yeah. You want back to the...
What was that I saw down there? What is that red in that box? Is that just for the flash flood warning?
That's the flash flood warning.
That's it? Okay. I knew the green box, but I wasn't sure about the highlighted in red. So.
Yes. So that still includes Hector, Dover. This does not include Clarksville, but up there by the Strawberry Bluffs, Lutherville, Bullfrog Valley, Treat, you guys are included, of course, in that storm. And there's still a little bit of a storm for us. That's just crossing in towards Pope County there, right by Treat. But
That does look like a frog strangler there just north of Bullfrog Valley. I'm just saying.
You know, it's true. And look what's coming right towards that flash flood
they're going
warning.
to get a lot of rain. Look at that. It's all heading that way. Yeah, if people are out there trying to camp or hike this afternoon, it's going to be rough. It's going to get rough out there. Probably a good time to pack it in if you're heading back this afternoon. And maybe you can put your tents up and your campers away before all this gets there with the high winds. Looks like another flash flood warning coming up here.
It looks like it. So
right
let me
there.
pull that information really quick.
Yeah, it just popped on there. But again, with this heavier rain, severe thunderstorm warning till 2 o'clock.
It'll take me just a second. I've got to turn off the warning layer for a second.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, it's very busy.
Just know there's a bad storm and you're under severe
Pretty
weather.
much.
And you got flooding, you got hail, you got lightning, you got everything but tornadoes right now. We haven't seen any tornado warnings at all so far today, and that's good news. There's the new flash flood warning.
So this goes until 3:25.
Okay.
And already 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rain, estimated by the radar, has fallen so far. And we're expected to get another couple of inches. But locations that you need to be on the lookout: Russellville, Pottsville, London, Hector, Broomfield, Holman, Solo, Lake Darnell, Rosetta, Devil's Knob, and Pleasant Valley there right in Pope County. So this is going to be continuing to move south and east, clipping us in Johnson County, Newton County, and Pope County. Once again, this warning, this flash flood warning, continues till 3:25.
Yeah, and I just got the new data on the one they just issued to the north of it till 4:25.
4:25.
Yeah, they've extended it and made it a little further north now for Newton County in north central Arkansas, along with Johnson County. So we've got Pope, Newton, and Johnson counties, northeast Johnson counties, till 4:25. That's the new flash flood warning that just came out. And radar indicating thunderstorms producing heavy rain in the warned area. Between 1 and 2 inches of rain have fallen. Flash flooding is ongoing, so it's happening or expected to begin shortly. Flash flooding small creeks and streams, highways and underpasses. It just says locations to be affected: Jasper, Walnut, Upper Buffalo Wilderness area. So a lot of people out there on a Sunday. So that's Lost Valley State Park, Rosetta, Irby, Devil's Knob, Dillon, Pruitt, Bertha, Wayton. So a lot of places here. Low Gap, Mossville, Crossroads, Deer. A lot of these areas, Mount Sherman, all in the area of this, including the following streams: Hurricane Creek, the North Fork of the Illinois Bayou, West Big Fork, Big Piney Creek, the Buffalo River. So there's several of these basins, many of these basins out there that are being affected by this flash flood warning. It's almost too many to read. The list goes on and on and on and on. But again, that's till 4 now, extended on up till 4:25. Remember that saying we like to say, turn around and don't drown. So if you come up on a low water crossing, the time to turn around and not get involved in trying to cross something, you know, it doesn't take but about 6 inches of water to cause a car to go off the road. A foot of water will float most vehicles. Even when you have a high elevation terrain vehicle, water can still float you, and be careful, because you know, we don't want to have any high water rescues or anything worse than that happening this afternoon with these flash flood warnings. Again, these hail cores, there's that one big one moving now southeastward. It's still going pretty strong towards Japton.
So I took off the track, so this is just what's current.
This is real time.
Real time. Looks like our hail core is back towards Benton County, though. They've been struggling a little bit. That's some good news, but still maybe a little pea-sized hail possible there on the southern end of Beaver Lake, but it's not nearly as what it was a little bit earlier. It looks like, Bruce, that largest hail core in our area continues to be western Madison County, southwest of Huntsville. This is coming right towards you guys in the Japton area.
Just over Drake's Creek and moving towards Asher and Japton. And again, that almost looks like it's expanding. It doesn't look like it's weakening. It almost looks like it's expanding right now, because you notice that last frame, it does that. This may actually get bigger, and that's almost ping pong ball size hail, so that will do damage. That'll damage cars and vehicles. Now, that's open country out there, a lot of beautiful farms and ranches, and we're going to continue to monitor that again in Madison County.
Yes,
Western Madison County.
Madison, headed right into the mountains.
Okay, yeah, it's a beautiful day, but you won't want to get your car into that. And again, this is weakening up here for us, and then here comes what's upstream from us, and like I said, we've got several more coming, eventually heading towards Joplin and then dropping on down. And again, there's the 2 flash flood warnings that extend on up into our eastern viewing area. And look at the frequent lightning with those storms right now going on, and you can see just a large mass of rain, and eventually all moving towards Little Rock. So if you're driving down to Little Rock, down to the capital, you could end up in some pretty good storms down there by the time you got there. Right now, Fort Smith, you're in the clear. You're not dealing with any of it, and you're just right on the edge of the severe thunderstorm watch this afternoon. So as you get back, well, looks like over in Lafleur County right now, and I don't think the watch even covered any of that. No, you can see that so far from I-40 south and Poteau and Waldron, you did not fall into the severe thunderstorm watch officially yet. So everything's right now tracking off to your east and to the southeast. So you can just go outside and look at the sky, look up to the northeast. You'll see what's going on here. But right now, our viewers in Fort Smith and down to Poteau and Waldron, you're not officially under the severe thunderstorm watch, which is in effect until 6 o'clock tonight.
You see the difference in temperatures too. I'm going to pull them up. I'm sure massive difference. I mean, you look towards the north and east. I mean, we're now sitting in the 60s in Rogers after heavy rain has fallen. We've had some hail there over Beaver Lake and Prairie Creek. Springdale at 79. Now, in the heart of Springdale, we haven't had much of the rain yet. We've had a couple sprinkles. Most of it's been east of towards Sonora and Goshen. And then in the River Valley, we're baking right now. We're in the mid to upper 80s, 88 in Poteau, 87 reporting in Fort Smith. Clarksville a little bit cooler because we've already had the rain. We had those storms closer to about noon hour earlier this afternoon. And then now we have that flash flood warning in eastern Johnson County. But a huge difference in temperatures where we keep getting that sun and where we keep getting just hit with these thunderstorms over and over again. It looks like the severe thunderstorm warning for Benton County has been dropped. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for northeastern Washington County. We'll have to still watch these cells that are coming into Springdale, crossing Highway 412 there towards Taneytown. Springdale now finally getting in on some of the action in Fayetteville. As we speak. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. We're going to regroup, and we will continue to live stream these thunderstorms as they continue to press towards the south and east. Just one quick recap as we're looking at the hail cores, and I'm going to take off the previous tracks too. What we have right now is a little bit of hail on the south end of Beaver Lake, crossing Highway 412 there right on the east side of Sonora. That's going to be moving into Mayfield and Goshen, where we have already had some hail earlier today. But the largest hail core at this moment is in Madison County, headed south towards Japton and Drake's Creek. Asher, Thompson crosses. You guys are going to be in the threat of this hail core. But it looks like for the metros of northwest Arkansas, we could have some pea-sized hail at times and some rain. But we're going to hop back in, give you live team coverage throughout the afternoon. It's a busy day. We have a level 3 severe threat. I'm going to pull that up really quick as we watch some of the threats come in. This may actually be from yesterday, but we're under a level 3 severe threat for this afternoon, with that severe thunderstorm watch continuing until 4 o'clock in northwest Arkansas and 6 p.m. in our eastern River Valley. We're going to continue to have live team coverage. We appreciate you guys. Keep it here, keep it local, and as always, we'll keep you advised.